I heard her suitcase hit the floor before I heard her crying. It was the kind of crying that doesn't ask for comfort. It just spills out, heavy and soaked in guilt. "I made a mistake," my wife said, her voice cracking like thin ice. "He's not who I thought he was." I didn't answer. I just looked at the half-packed shirts on our bed. The one she had folded so neatly 48 hours earlier when she walked out of our house and into her broke ex's apartment. I guess she thought I'd beg her to stay. She always believed I loved her more than she loved herself. Maybe she was right. Maybe that was my first mistake. If you told me a year ago that Maya would choose her ex over me, I would have laughed. Not because I thought I was better. Just because I thought I gave her stability, a soft place to land, the kind of life she always said she dreamed of. I was wrong. Stability is boring to people who confuse chaos with passion. I should have known the night she started hiding her phone under her pillow. Or the day she told me she needed space, but still asked me to pay her car insurance. Or the afternoon she smiled at a message and said it was just a coworker, when her cheeks were burning the color of a fresh lie. But nothing hits harder than the way she stopped saying goodnight. Like turning off a light switch slowly so you don't notice the room going dark. She left on a Thursday. Apparently that's when he needed her. She didn't say it, but I knew. You can tell everything from the way someone zips a suitcase. Hers was rushed and trembling, like she couldn't wait to get away from me. She said we'd talk later. There was no kiss, no hug, not even a polite goodbye. Just the door closing fast, like she didn't want even a second of cold air between us. I didn't chase her. I just sat at the dining table with the half-eaten dinner I cooked and the chair across from me still warm from where she'd sat earlier. And then I did something I'm strangely proud of. I smiled. Not because I didn't care, but because something inside me finally snapped free. Like a rope that had been pulled too tight for too long. If she wanted him, she could have him. She came crawling back 2 days later. Not 2 weeks. Not 2 months. 2 days. Her ex Sam was exactly what I thought he was. Broke. Moody. Living paycheck to paycheck. The kind of guy who calls himself a creative, but hasn't created anything except unpaid bills. She said he treated her like a backup plan. She said he yelled. She said he didn't have room for her. Ironic because I had made room for her everywhere. In my home, in my plans, in spaces inside me I didn't even know were empty. But the part that stung the most was how she described him. He just made me feel alive. And I guess I didn't. She stood in front of me now, eyes red, hair messy, hands shaking. She looked small in a way I had never seen her look. "I want to fix this," she whispered. "I want us." Her voice trembled on the word us, as if she wasn't sure it existed anymore. I didn't say a thing. I just let her talk, let her pour out apology after apology, the same one she had denied owing me for months. When she was done, she looked at me like I held her fate in my hands. "Please say something," she begged. And I did. But not what she expected. "You didn't choose him over me," I said. "You chose the version of yourself you liked more. The one who didn't feel tied down or responsible." She blinked. Maybe she hoped I'd shout or break something. Anger would have been easier for her to accept. "You always said you wanted a man who made you feel safe," I went on. "What you really wanted was a man you could run to when life got hard. Safety isn't the same as escape." Her tears slowed. She was listening. "And the worst part," I said, "is that I made it too easy for you to run. I gave you a door you could walk through anytime, knowing I'd still be here." She shook her head. "I won't run again. You already did." Silence swelled between us, thick and heavy. I stood up and walked past her toward the dresser. I opened the top drawer and placed her wedding ring inside. I hadn't touched it since she left. It felt like setting down a weight I had carried long after it stopped belonging to me. Her face crumpled. "Don't do this," she whispered. But I wasn't angry. Just done. "I'm not punishing you," I said. "I'm choosing myself. Something I should have learned to do a long time ago." She reached for my arm, but I stepped back gently. "Not cruel. Just final. I hope he gives you whatever you were chasing," I said. She cried harder then, like the sound alone could glue us back together. But here's the truth that settled into my bones that day. A person who leaves for someone else is already halfway gone long before their suitcase hits the floor. My revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It wasn't the kind of revenge people write movies about. It was a smile. A quiet, steady smile that told her she no longer had the power to break me. She kept asking to talk. She wanted counseling. She wanted a fresh start. But I had already started fresh. I had updated my bank information. I had removed her from my insurance. I had notified the landlord she would no longer be living with me. I had told my friends and family we were done. By the time she came back, the version of me she wanted to return to no longer existed. And the version of her I had loved was long gone too. When she finally walked out the door again, it was slower this time. She kept turning back as if hoping I'd stop her. I didn't. Her tears fell quietly, but my smile held steady. Not out of pride. Not out of spite. But because sometimes the softest revenge is showing someone they lost access to the person who once loved them without limits. I closed the door gently behind her. The click felt like the last page of a chapter one should have ended long ago. And this time the silence in the house didn't feel empty. It felt earned.